Fish on!
In this episode of the Road Trip Angler, we are on Kent Island fishing the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, and we're chasing big striper. Woo! And we're also going to be just exploring everything that this area has to offer. Look at this thing, it's huge.
It's a good one, Jameson.
Jeff might even catch the largest fish on the Road Trip Angler, but I think he might have also set the record for the smallest fish caught on the Road Trip Angler.
I'm about to hit the state line. Yeah, we travel like a braid line. Drop the kayak in and drop a bait down. We make it easier than 1, 2, 3. You want the tips, want the tricks with the ones to see. Ooh-wee! Come on. Cause everybody wants to fish, but can't nobody make the trips. But don't trip, cause we gon' make it when you can't miss out. Road trip angle, only thing we need is a route, no doubt.
I love the coastal region of the United States. There's always so much history when it comes to the different ports and also with the people that live there and have made a living off of the water. Anytime that you're traveling to a new location, it's always good to check out the local outdoor shop. You can get local information. You can see what baits they carry for that particular water that you're going to be fishing. But also it's a great place usually to get any kind of permits that you might need and fishing license. This is actually my first time fishing in the Chesapeake Bay. I knew that I needed to get some local information, and Jeff Little is a Maryland resident. He has fished it quite a bit.
So there's generally two approaches to catching striper on the Chesapeake Bay. There's trolling and there's jigging. And I typically use a lot of 1-ounce jig heads.
Our goal here in Kent Island is to get in the Chesapeake Bay and chase these giant rockfish from our small plastic boats. But we want to make sure that we're being safe when we do that, and the wind was just relentless that first day. So Jeff and I came up with a plan to go hit an area that was a creek and we could actually target some snakehead and even potentially yellow perch. I'm already freezing to death.
You need the dry suit, because if you end up in the water, hypothermia sets in. It's a concern today.
How do you zip this thing?
I will zip you.
Having the right and proper gear and wearing your life jacket, all those things are going to come together to make it a lot safer for you to be out there and still take advantage of the amazing fishing that you have even when the air temp and the water temp is colder. On this episode, we're going to be thinking safety. We're wearing full dry suits, Jeff and I, and we also have on our life jackets. This is the other awesome thing about wearing the right gear is I'm completely dry when loading into the boat. Jeff, I want to fish this rock up here.
It's getting warmer as we're moving in this direction.
We're headed to a spot that I know very well, but this time of year, I don't have that much experience there.
It's getting cold in here. Put on all your clothes. I'm not used to casting with gloves on. I like to cover water and throw moving baits like the chatterbait or a spinnerbait or even topwater and try to get some type of reaction bite. I have never put a lot of time and effort into learning how to fish a jig. Jeff, on the other hand, not only knows how to fish a jig very well, but he actually ties and makes his own jigs.
Power fishing in cold weather, it can work, but if you can really pinpoint a piece of structure like a piling or a submerged log and really work it thoroughly. With a jig, it's just a more pointed, very specific presentation with a high percentage of getting bit. But when you use a jig, you're gonna snag. It's just part of the deal.
It's just mud bottom. I don't get it.
Watching Jeff get hung up while fishing around these pylons reminded me why I like to throw moving baits that tend to bounce off that structure and not get hung up.
I'd have broke this thing off 10 minutes ago if I didn't only have 2 of these with me.
Chatterbait, I'm gonna throw you and see what happens. I can't do the jig the pylon thing. For one, I don't have the right bait, but for two, it's the most boring thing in the world. He has a theory that there's fish around those columns. I have a theory that he's wrong. We saw a lot of movement on some of the flats, which could have been carp. It also could have been snakehead.
This looks fishy. There should be a fish right here.
We have fished every spot that should have held fish. That was a bite, and just honestly not made it happen. Check out the skeleton over there. That's what happens to trespassers. Just a pile of bones. After a certain point, I'm ready to throw in the towel. I'm waving that white flag. I'm giving up, right? So I'm done. I'm ready to go back to the truck. Because this was Jeff's spot and he brought us there, I think he had this pressure on him to kind of prove that the fish did actually exist in this area. So of course, when I got back to the truck and I'm ready to start kind of loading things up, Jeff stuck it out and he actually made it happen.
Oh, there's another good one. We might eat him.
Finally found him.
Caught my dinner. Felt bad for you. Here's yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get to eat that.
I got to touch fish. After catching a couple of fish on the boat, Jeff and I decided to hit the water with the kayak. So we're on Kent Island here in Maryland, and we're gonna go after some rockfish in the Chesapeake Bay.
So this is a habit of mine wherever I launch. I feel like it builds good karma with the fish gods. You gotta pick up trash. It was actually a launch I had never used before, and it's always fun to explore new areas with a fresh set of eyes.
Catching those really big striper from the Chesapeake Bay has always been on my list of things that I want to do.
Way to go, man.
I'm going down this shore, it'll get less windy. Jeff and I are out here really just exploring right now. We're gonna troll some baits behind us in case there are some random fish out here, but essentially we're watching our graph and we're just gonna keep kind of zigzagging, moving around. Jeff and I are gonna split up a bit and see if we can't cover some water till we start finding bait.
Jameson fishing the other side of the pinch. We have shallow here, shallow there. We're right in the bottleneck. He's fishing one side, I got the other.
One of the really effective ways to break down and cover a lot of water is to troll.
As you just cruise around and look and see what's out there, you're looking for birds, you're looking at your depth finder, and as you're constantly moving along, you're being productive with 2 rods, one on either side the entire time you're out there trying to find fish.
Fish on. Anytime you're fighting big, powerful fish from a kayak, it is gonna be a whole nother level of experience. Woo! I got a mess because he twisted me around. I don't know how to describe it other than chaos. Total chaos. He's under the boat. Oh gosh. As I'm trolling, one of my rods got hit. So now we're gonna try to land this fish quickly and get it back in the water. Woo-hoo. I need a bigger net. Yes! It's awesome fish. Let's get him out of this net. Just trolling along and this dude smacked the bait. I was trying to get back to Jeff because he's marking some bait, but was gonna troll the whole way there. We're gonna get her back in the water. There she goes.
I'm about to turn left. I'm gonna do a U-turn on my left. You wanna bring that outside rod in, and then you can swing on the inside, steering such that you will not run over your own line. Once you've made the turn, launch that back out behind you and resume. As soon as you get a knockdown, is the drag starts screaming off there. There's so many things that can go wrong. Are you kidding? Did you get off? I gotta reel in the other one. The fish can cut in behind you and take your line into your motor propeller. One other complication that can happen is he can run towards your boat and underneath it. Yeah, that's a big one. It's a good one, Jameson. If you turn too sharply, the other lines can catch on different things. He did spin me around and it caught the other lure. Right out of the way.
Nice.
That's a big tail. Real. You can feel those head shakes that are not like this, they're like this. That judge is doing good work.
Are you judging them?
Once they're close to you, it's just a fight of pulling it up. You pump your rod up, and then you reel as you go back down to try and get them to surface so you can grab that bottom jaw and lift them in. Hi, nice to see you.
You meet so many people that will see that photo or that video clip and they'll be like, really? You got that from a kayak? Yes. You can get huge, huge fish from your kayak. Definitely seeing some more bait right in here. Not only am I out there in a small plastic boat, but we're also trying to film it. Come on, start filming. Sometimes when you have wind and you have current and you have a big fish that's just doing whatever it wants to do with your little plastic boat, you're gonna hit me, dude. It can be a little chaotic when that camera boat comes up. Dude, you're gonna mess me up. We're gonna lose this fish. Pull your motor, pull your motor, pull your motor. Jeez, he's barely hooked. The fact that we get any of this on camera is actually a miracle because there are so many things going on. And when you have a massive fish like that, you guys better appreciate how hard we work out here. This is one of the biggest striper I've ever caught. It is awesome. Look at this thing, it's huge. We have had an absolute blast exploring the Chesapeake Bay around Kent Island here in Maryland. Honestly, I got to check off a bucket list fish. I've always wanted to come up here to the Chesapeake and catch one of those big striper for my kayak, and I got to do that. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe. Stay safe out there, wear your life jacket, and as always, thanks for watching.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Well, I had me a drink about an hour ago and it went straight to my head.